Want to give your home a cozy glow up? Wisco Home Goods has you covered with hand-poured soy candles, crafted in small batches, made to burn clean, and scented to perfection. Stop by their store at 4664 Cottage Grove Road on Madison's beautiful east side, or browse online at wiscohomegoods.com. Shop local, breathe easy, feel good with Wisco Home Goods. Want some summer fun for a good cause? Loop the Lake is coming up Saturday, June 14th. It's a go-at-your-own-pace bike ride benefit for Clean Lakes Alliance, presented by Lake Ridge Bank. Riders start and end at Oberth Park and travel 13 miles clockwise around Lake Winona. And perk? Kids 10 and under ride free with a paid adult. You in? Sign up for Loop the Lake today. Go to cleanlakesalliance.org/loop-the-lake and use code BIKE10 to save 10%. Today on City Cast Madison. Summer, is that you, girl? It's nearly June, y'all, and festival season is coming at ya. Our team has you covered with tips for living your best life in Madison this month. Me, executive producer Haley Sperling, and newsletter editor Rob Thomas are here with our top picks for things to do, see, and eat in June. You ready? It's Thursday, May 29th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Let's bring you in. Haley Sperling, our executive producer. How are you?
I'm so good. June's my favorite month because it's my birthday month.
Yes! Gemini in the house. And Rob Thomas, our newsletter editor. Rob, how are you feeling about June?
Great. It's my daughter's birthday month, so I'm also very happy. Listen, everybody's just so happy when it's June. Like, you can feel it in the air when you're outside Madison.
Particularly, us Wisconsinites who really know it. We're going to be doing a to do, a to see, and to eat in June. So that's our categories. Let's get into it.
Let's dive into it, for lack of a better word, but also a play on words. You guys are about to find out. Summer is here, and I don't know about you guys, but I would love to spend as much time by the water as humanly possible. Bianca, I know you love a good lake moment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this every year, but this year especially, I'm like, I don't want to be somewhere where there's not water. Like, in fact, like if we could just record the podcast like at the pool on the lake, I know we're not going to do that because of logistical reasons.
Nothing could go wrong there.
Nothing, yeah, water, electricity, but yes, so much time by the water this summer. I am with you.
Yeah, what about you, Rob? Are you a big lake boy?
Yeah, I love being by the lake, but, I don't go out on the boats much, but, there's always first time for everything. It's such a great city to see from the lake.
Yeah. Well, first time for everything. I've got some good news for the folks who also love our lakes, because my thing to do this June is to check out the rentals available from Madison Boats. So for y'all who are unfamiliar, I'm here to fill you in. Madison Boats, they're a local company that offers boat rentals, and they have 4 locations on 3 lakes with over 400 boats. And you might know them actually by one of their other names. They operate as Wingra Boats on Lake Wingra, of course, Brittingham Boats on Monona, Marshall Boats on Mendota, and they also operate at the Edgewater, where you can rent pontoons to take out on Mendota, which is pretty cool. For our purposes today, I'm going to focus on Brittingham Boats, again, over on Monona, just because they offer sort of like the widest range of rentals. And they also have like a bunch of events planned for this summer. But I highly recommend checking out Madison Boats and their website in general, because they've got a lot of options for everyone. So kicking off at Brittingham, you can rent kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, paddle boats, and canoes. So it's like a really great option because there's really something for everyone and all skill levels. They really got it down for you. Their summer hours, which just kicked off at the end of May, runs every day from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Plus, they do late night Fridays where they're open until 9 p.m. and early mornings on Saturdays and Sundays where they open at 6 a.m. So if you are an early bird who likes to get the worm, or an early person who likes to get the fish. I don't know. There's something in there. Go get
real?
it. Yeah.
I think you nailed that.
If you are a worm who is in the water and likes to, I don't know. I've lost it. Anyways, all this to say, there are plenty of opportunities for you to get out on the water this summer. And I want to highlight a couple of events that are happening over at Brittingham because they're hosting so many this June, and one that I'm particularly excited for is a full moon paddle on June 10th that feels particularly witchy and fun and just like very, I don't know, very cerebral. I like it. So here's what you can expect from that event via the description on their website. It says, quote, glide across the lake at sunset and feel the excitement as the full moon rises. Let the moonlight and live music from our floating stage create a dreamy, unforgettable vibe. So, are you guys hooked? Are you ready to go?
I've been hooked. I've been seeing that event, and I feel like also it sells out fast.
It does sell out.
Yeah, I've been seeing it for years and just thinking, oh, that's for a good witch.
Yes.
I want to be one of them. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, it's so exciting that I don't want to be disappointed. But like, you need to be the early bird. Like you gotta be
the early bird to sign up because like you said, Bianca, it does sell out for sure. But this event, they'll have music from Eric, the marimba player. We love a good marimba moment.
We need to talk to him.
Oh my gosh, what a great idea.
Right. And they're also going to have some complimentary snacks and s'more kits. So you can enjoy some roasted s'mores. They have floating fire pits. Again, very witchy vibes here. I'm obsessed with it. So we've said it before. This sells out fast. You can reserve your boat and register online. Again, that one is June 8th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So a fun little evening activity for y'all witches out there. And another thing that Brittingham does every year that I absolutely love, just for the kind of sheer absurdity of it, is Burgers on the Bay, which is basically what it sounds like. You rent a boat and the, quote, seasoned grill masters at Brittingham Boats work the grill on their floating burger barge, say that 40 times fast, and they serve up delicious eats in the heart of Monona Bay, which is something you can't really say every day. And yes, they do have veggie and gluten-free options. They do this event multiple times throughout the summer, and in June, they have one scheduled for the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th with varying times and rental availabilities. But again, these ones, they can sell out, so hop on those rental quickly.
So fun.
It's so cute, right? It's just so Madison.
Burgers
like, here's a burger in the middle of the lake.
Burger on the bay. Yeah. I can't imagine a better way to spend a day. I'm always thinking about with the lake. So there's so much fun to be had. I always think about swimming conditions too, for those of you who are taking the boats out and,
True.
you know, always before heading to the lake. It is kind of that time, June, where, yeah, they're warm and algae blooms might be out there. And unfortunately, they're toxic. So swimmers do check the current water conditions, and recommend visiting either like Dane County Public Health's website or Clean Lakes Alliance because they've got monitors on that. But yeah, with any fun also comes a little safety, right?
You got to keep that in mind. But I'm glad that you pointed that because public health does monitor the lakes, right? Like they are out there consistently checking on this. So it's something to keep in mind. But one last thing that I am excited about this summer, again at Brittingham, is that they'll be taking part in Make Music Madison, which is It's Make Music Madison, yes, but it's a worldwide celebration day of music where you can find pop-up shows really just about everywhere across town. And this year that includes the lakes. So that's on June 21st. So you can expect to see and hear lots of cool local musicians around town that day.
Honestly, I was driving the other day and thinking, I want to start a conversation out and just tell everyone how much I love Madison. And that is, definitely the feeling that June brings and being able to be on the water. It's just this is the best place to live in the country. It's June in Madison. And, while we've been talking about the water and being on the water, I want to talk about my to-do, which is the 2025 Madison Jazz Festival, which happens pretty early in June. Jazzy, yes, we're very excited about that. And it's something that goes from June 6th to the 15th, but there's a culmination. The festival's like weekend finale. The last 2 days are at the Memorial Union Terrace, and the water is gorgeous. Like the water is a main feature, being on Lake Mendota over there. But yeah, the Wisconsin Union Theater and Arts and Literature Laboratory presents the Madison Jazz Fest, and they're all great people. I'm happy to say I am for the third year emceeing the Jazz Fest. Full disclosure, a fun disclosure.
Three-peat.
Three-peat, yeah. And it is just for those last 2 days, which are June 14th through the 15th, that last weekend, which is just chocked full of free performances. And frankly, it's magic. It really, really is. The day basically goes from people like hanging and drinking beers on the sunburst chairs, just like catching up with folks amongst the music, to the evening where folks like really start dancing in front of the stage, and all ages. And, you know, last year's headliner like was out in the crowd. Like people were loving it. So I can't really recommend the Madison Jazz Festival enough. It's so much fun. And it really brings a lot of life to me. And they really have great talent that comes as well. So the headliners this year are Isaiah Collier and the Chosen Few, and Arturo O'Farrill and the Afro-Latin Jazz Ensemble. So like if you like some rhythm and blues and jazz, like this is the place to be this summer. I look forward to it every single year. So definitely make your way there. Have any of you guys made it over to the Jazz Fest?
Definitely. And I mean, the thing I love about Madison's Jazz Festival is I think in other cities, they're sort of highfalutin things where you spend a lot of money, it's very high end. Jazz is a genre that's not very approachable, I think, for a lot of people. You don't know who it is. Ours, like you said, it's all free. It's at the Terrace. You're going there anyway, probably in June. And it's just a great both introduction to jazz, or if you love jazz, it's a great way to see artists you like and maybe some new ones you don't know. And I know they do a range of sort of jazz subgenres like Latin jazz. And it's a great time. And it's a great way to experience jazz.
I love that you said that it's an approachable way to like get into jazz, right? Because I am not a jazz head, right? Jazz is that what they call them?
I think so.
But it is a very approachable way. Like you said, Rob, it's like you're probably going to be at the Terrace anyways. You might as well go and enjoy some awesome music. I just have memories of ending up at the Terrace and not realizing that it's Jazz Fest, but also just seeing people like out there dancing and just having the time of their lives. That is one thing that I do love about Madison, and especially in the summertime, like people are ready to get out, they're ready to dance, they're ready to have fun, and just like really just be happy about life.
Yeah, and the talent is, by the way, really curated. Like there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So even if you're that person, which I think I've been that person, you stumble on the festival, you're really gonna get just good folks. The Lakeisha Benjamin was like the saxophonist that they had in a recent year. And I was like intimidated because she's so cool and wears like golden outfits. Like also I just love the outfits. You guys know I love some razzle dazzle. And for all of those who kind of are like, I don't like jazz. I mean, jazz gets made fun of all the time because, it's really heady. My recommendation, just feel it. Just feel the music. Music, it doesn't have to have words. It's just about you feeling and experiencing it. So and also shout out to the fact that Jazz Fest, outside of the big weekend, there will be shows all through the week, and some of those might be ticketed, but Cafe Coda, like there are different spots across the city that the festival will host shows at. So definitely make your way there. And hey, I want to talk about the 2025 sessions, which we've talked about in the past and happily have attended. Those have been held at McPike Park, over off of East Washington, that big, awesome park. And there's like a skate park, all kinds of stuff. This year, it's going to be at Garver Feed Mill, which is pretty exciting because that's a whole new vibe. And that'll be June 19th through the 22nd. And last year I was helping MC and I was just blown away by all the talent, the diversity of music that was there, and the chill and the good vibes, like good vibes at the sessions. So, and also the headliner this year is Iris DeMint, which is super cool. If you don't know her name, you likely know her voice if you like folk music, because she's a legendary folk singer and songwriter. So there's the John Prine song, if you like folk music, but it's like in spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Like she's got this, she's got this twang. Like she's awesome. So she's the female vocalist in that song. And of course has a lot of her own music that's fantastic. And has done collabs with like Steve Earle, Emmylou Harris. Like she's a big deal actually. And she has a new album where the title song won 2024 Song of the Year at the International Folk Music Awards. So that's just like a big highlight. Like I'm kind of freaking out. My household is freaking out about Iris coming. Yeah, so that's the sessions. Definitely go check out the sessions.
It's a new era for them because it's always, to me, it's the sessions at McPike Park, but now it's the sessions at Garver Feed-Mill, and it feels like they're leveling up. It feels like they're doing some cool stuff. I'm excited. I'm super stoked to see what they got going on there. I'm glad that you brought that one up.
And the benefit of being at Garver Feed-Mill, you also have spaces that are inside because we know that these summer storms be coming and they will stay coming. Rob, you have another fun festival to bring up.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it going with the outdoor by the water and music and people coming together because June means neighborhood festival time in and around Madison. The official sort of curtain raiser in Madison is the Marquette Neighborhood Festival, the city's skinniest festival on that little strip of land.
Is that how they officially build themselves?
I've seen that marketed that way. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is though. It's kind of fun because it's right by the lake there.
You get your bang for your buck.
There you do. And everybody comes together. This year it's June 14th and June 15th. They've got, very family friendly, lots of events. They've got a great food and drink. A lot of people just walk over from their houses in that neighborhood. And I always find a really cool and eclectic music lineup. They've got 2 stages going and they have a lot of local music, like the Kissers are playing this year. And, a lot of your favorites from Madison Summer Music Festivals. And then they book headliners that are real surprises. Like Saturday, the headliner is this singer-songwriter from Tokyo, Yuma Abbey. And I was listening to his music and it's sort of like, it's like beach pop. Like it sounds like very dreamy.
Love that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool right by the water. Like it's just such a great idea. And then Sunday, the headliner is Miles Nielsen and the Rusted Hearts. And Miles Nielsen is the son of Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick. And I remember seeing him with the Nielsen Trust at Joey Song in January at the Sylvie, which was a great show. So this is his side band. That should be great. So that Marquette Neighborhood Festival, like I said, always kicks off the East Side Summer Festival season. And so it's going to be great. But then as I wrote about in the newsletter, this is the time when all the towns around Madison start having their summer outdoor festivals. So the weekend of May 31st to June 1st, Festa Italia comes to Fitchburg, probably the only summer festival that has a bocce tournament because they're Italian heritage. And then there's Verona Hometown Days, June 6th to 8th. The Mount Horeb Summer Frolic, June 12 to 15.
Which sounds so pleasant.
Who
doesn't love a summer frolic?
Let's go frolic. Yeah. They have a parade. It's very nice. And then New Glarus has their Polka Fest on June 13th and 14th, which coincides with its Beer, Bacon, and Cheese Fest. I mean, you cannot get more Wisconsin than a Beer, Bacon, and Cheese Fest happening on top of a Polka Fest.
That's so real.
Yeah. So lots going on. Pretty much every weekend this summer, there's a festival going on somewhere in Dane County.
Well, Haley, I mean, talking about the Marquette Fest, I mean, that's a good kind of run into what you wanted to bring forward, which is kind of the most envious event of them all.
It is. It is. So bringing us into our things to see section, speaking of Marquette neighborhood, my thing to see this year, and I'm making a point to see it this year because I always miss it. And I'm like, dang it. It's the Fool's Flotilla, which... Are you guys familiar with this? You've been in Madison for a while.
I see the pictures every year and I miss it too. And I'm like, That's why I said it's the most enviable event because I'm like, why was I not doing that?
Exactly. It's like, okay, here's your heads up. I'm giving you this heads up now. It's on June 15th and it's part of the annual Marquette Neighborhood Association, the Waterfront Festival. The Madison community is invited to witness or take part in the floating parade down the Yahara River. And if you've never seen the Fool's Flotilla before, it is, like you you mentioned, Bianca, like it is a sight to behold. You can picture this, just dozens of costume clad Madisonians and sometimes their four-legged friends paddling, kayaking, and canoeing from the Tenny Park locks down to Yahara Place Park. And this thing got its start because years ago, it was just sort of like a playful way for neighbors to float on over to Waterfront Festival. But it has since become a truly beloved Madison tradition. And personally, I'm obsessed with this event. Like, I think it is peak Madisonia, right? Like, this is just some weird thing that people started doing. And someone else was like, yes, let's make it official. And I'm obsessed with it. And of course, these days it's hosted by the wonderful folks at the River Alliance of Wisconsin. And it's, like I said, it's a sight to behold. If you're planning on participating, know that it is a BYOB event, aka bring your own boat. The gathering will commence at 9:30 a.m., but the parade itself will get floating at around 10:30 a.m. It's a rain or shine event, and you can bet that they have floated out in a rain. And the only thing to know is that no inner tubes allowed. It's a liability thing because there will also be pontoons on the river, so we don't want any accidental collisions or whatnot. So that's my big to see, and I'm super stoked.
It is so Madison, Haley, the flotilla. I feel like I would want that, like some sort of photograph of that framed in the city hall, honestly. This month is going to be so riotous. Like, I just can't. I'm bursting with excitement for this. Like, seriously, I just want to be outside and eating food and listening to music and like having kids putting bubbles everywhere, or adults too, Like, it's vibes. Do you need an entertaining spot for your next work event or birthday? How about taking it to the next level and choosing somewhere thrilling? The Thrill Factory has an arcade, bowling, tiki bar and restaurant, escape rooms, mini golf, laser tag, VR, and believe it or not, even more. Picture an indoor theme park on adrenaline. Oh, and did I mention they've got animatronic dragons? It's the ultimate family entertainment experience. All ages are welcome to enjoy Madison's largest collection of indoor activities. Their claim to fame is that they throw, quote, Madison's best corporate and birthday parties. Both of those event packages start at just $2.99. So, are you and your group ready for a thrill? Contact Thrill Factories at 608-285-5584 or online at thrillfactoryentertainment.com to book today.
You don't need to use an oversized AI model for everything, just like you don't need to use an axe to slice a cake. Find out how smaller models can deliver the right results and help cut AI costs up to 90% at IBM.com. The AI built for business, IBM. Looking for an AI glow-up that passes the office vibe check? What? AI that only knows the internet doesn't make sense for business. Get AI trained on your data at IBM.com. The AI built for business, IBM.
Rob, you've got something that's super Madison. Let's talk metal.
Yeah, so the flotilla sounds very calm and tranquil, and I have the exact opposite. This is almost the things to hear more than the things to see, and it's Mad with Power Fest, which is the world's finest and probably only combination heavy metal pinball festival. Takes place June 6th and 7th at the Sylvie, and this was the brainchild of local musician and arcade aficionado Ty Christian, who was like, why can't we bring music in? He wanted to have a music festival in an arcade, but the arcade was too small. So his idea was, let's put dozens of pinball machines and arcade machines in the concert venue, all set on free play, and people could play while they're listening to the music. And it's grown from I think it was the High Noon the first year to 2 nights at the Sylvie, June 6th and 7th. They've got a couple dozen, I think, heavy metal bands from all over the country coming. And all through the Sylvie, they have these pinball machines set up. Again, no quarters needed, free play. And
Obsessed.
People play between sets, people play during sets. I mean, it's a bring your earplugs extravaganza. And I kind of like you said, this is the best of Madison where somebody goes you know what? Why not? These are two cool things I like. Let's put them together. And people show up. And like I said, it's 2 nights at the Sylvie. So
And
Yeah.
frankly, like 40% of my experiences with metal music also have to do with arcades.
Right,
And like
exactly.
playing at the arcade with my friends. Also, the bring the earplugs. I mean, obviously we work in audio, so every time I'm like, I need earplugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
think
love
that'll be
that. I'm
super fun.
obsessed that there's like a big enough community that they can do, like you said, Rob, like 2 nights
Yeah.
at the Sylvia. That's nuts. That's nuts. Go
Yeah.
off, Madison.
Speaking of very dedicated devotees, like we know the metal community is, I want to go see the Nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The Madison's first collegiate summer softball team, whose last year was their inaugural season. It's fast pitch. It's super legit. And you might know that the Mallards season has already started. It kicked off at the end of May, but Nightmares will hit the field in June. And I haven't actually gone. I'm really embarrassed to say. But, you know, we recently spoke with local writer Tom Alicia about the Mallards and asked him about the Nightmares season. He said, you know what I've noticed, and he said this lightly in a, you know, not joking, but lightly. He's like, the Nightmares fans appear to take the game more seriously than Mallards games, which, you know, is his opinion, but I loved that. And it's like, it's a women's softball team. Like, that's really fun. And they finished second place last year in their inaugural season. So they're contenders.
Nightmares.
I want to know what they're bringing. You know, I spoke with the team's general manager last year, Samantha Rubin, about their first season last year. And she's a baller, really fun and interesting, and just like really made me excited. And I don't know how I haven't already been, but the Nightmares' first home game takes place Thursday, June 12th at 6:05 p.m. against the Wausau Softball Club. So throw down.
Hell yeah. Throw down.
We know our producer Jade is the biggest fan, self-proclaimed, and we believe that. So definitely, I think the whole team should go for sure. For a game.
I would love all of us to go to a Nightmares game. That would be so fun. I would love to just witness Jade at a Nightmares game mostly.
That's our girl. And the final regular season home game is at the end of July. So it's like June, get in there. Like, you know, it's gonna have this period, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I missed it. Not this year. So go see the Nightmares. And let's turn to our last category, shall we? Let's talk about things to eat in June. What are you guys excited to go try?
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I have really just been on a halal kick recently. And I'll preface this by saying, like, I do not keep halal rules in my home. I'm Jewish. I don't even keep kosher. I just love good food. So all of this is to say is that I'm really excited to check out the new Nar Turkish Halal, which opened earlier this year over at 1738 Fordham Avenue. And what I'm super stoked about this place is, one, it's a really precious story, and we'll get into that. But one of their slogans is just, quote, plenty, tasty, cheap. And I love all 3 of those things. You truly cannot go wrong. According to a Cap Times article about the opening, it's a husband and wife owned shop, which I think is really sweet. And the husband actually named the restaurant for his wife, Nar. And she was like, that's nice, you know? So the family has a history of working in restaurants. The husband, he has worked in kitchen restaurants since like the 1990s. And then they came out to Madison so that Nar could finish up some education here, which is super awesome. So they opened earlier this year, and they're still kind of, you know, getting their footing underneath them in terms of like online ordering and whatnot. But they're pretty active on Instagram if you guys check them out there. But yeah, I'm super stoked to get some falafel, get some shawarma, meatballs, whatever. I'm just stoked. I'm really stoked about this one.
Sounds really good. And I love their slogan. Like all day, that plenty, cheap. Like that is awesome.
Yeah.
Rob, what about you?
Well, Madison's a great food town, and we've talked about this, but there's a strange lack of really good sandwich shops here. I mean, you've got Caseta, obviously, which is phenomenal. And there's a food truck called Sandwich Hub, which is really good too. But like, I feel like we don't have enough really good sandwich shops here that aren't national chains.
Okay. I'm the only one who's like, I'm not sure about that, but also like, it's Madison, so it's small.
Right.
We
So
need
I'm just saying it's a
more.
debate.
We need more. Maybe it's because Stalzy's, you know, they switched their business model and weren't serving sandwiches, but it feels like there's a gap.
Feels like
And
we could do a whole podcast on this one.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
I think we're gonna. Yeah. But I had heard about a new sandwich shop called Donato, which opened former Cousins on Webster Street. It's part of Divino, like right around the corner from them. And it's sort of the classic Italian grocery store / deli. People were posting photos on Instagram. The sandwiches were like these big, thick, meaty, like muffaletta and chicken parmesan and meatball grinders but pepperoni and all the great Italian lunch meats and stuff piled high. So
all the meats.
All the meat. They have the meats, as I think another chain said. So I'm going to get myself a sandwich this month. That place looks too good to pass up.
Yeah. I'm super stoked about this place because I'm on the side of I don't think there's enough sandwich shops in Madison. We'll fight about it later. But I recently just went to their sister restaurant, or I guess Donato is the sister restaurant to Divino. And the food that I had there was super awesome. Really fun drinks, really great menu, lots of classic Italian dishes. So if the sandwiches are anything like Divino, I'm super stoked and super ready for this.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think I just am someone who so regularly am buying sandwiches all over the place that I'm like, well, they're here, but like we could always have more. And also I want to add to the debate, like who's got the best breakfast sandwiches?
Yes. Oh,
that's another episode right there, just on breakfast sandwiches.
Breakfast sandwiches. That one, it's just like, I've got some thoughts, but I always want more choices.
JPH is a contender for sure.
Yeah, Johnson's Public House sandwiches. Like, I will drive all over town for my breakfast sandwich. But yeah, if you guys are listening, are like, oh, I feel the same way, or I don't know what you're talking about. This is my favorite sandwich spot. Let us know. Leave us a voicemail at 608-318-3367 or email us at madison@citycast.fm because we will be talking about this. So chime in. I'm going to stick on the sandwich front for what it's worth. I want to try out a new restaurant, the Fireside Kitchen, which has moved in on Monroe Street in the former Taberna Tacos and Tequila spot. They're going to be serving burgers and sandwiches, but like with Jamaican style. So jerk chicken, curry goat, oxtail, and then oxtail stew. So they're going to be probably bringing the fire if you're looking at their name. And I have not had their food yet, so I want to try their food for sure.
I love it. Yeah. And in our episode with Cap Times food and culture editor, Lindsay Christians, I mean, she brought up all these places and I'm just like so stoked to, go check out that roundup if you are looking for more food info because we got it. We got the down low.
100%. All right, we've got June barely covered because there's so much. No, we nailed it. These are the big things in June. But if we did miss something, let us know. You guys have our details on how to get hold of us.
You got our number.
Yeah, you got our number. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for rounding up June with me, Rob Thomas.
Happy June.
And Haley Sperling.
Happy June.
That's Haley Sperling, our executive producer, and Rob Thomas, our newsletter editor, joining me for our team's June guide. If you're interested in more details about the events, festivities, and locales we mentioned in our convo, head to our show notes for some links. That's all for today, here on City Cast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. If you enjoyed the show, why not share this episode with the festival goer in your life? All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care.